Alright, so I'm going to be doing a video on this MSI GS60. This is also a MSI GS series or G series laptop. I did one not even a week ago, so if you want the full disassembly, I'll actually put a link to that video in the description below. But this is the a different model. It's slightly different. I think there's these two SSDs that I don't remember on the other one, or maybe I just didn't notice it. Or maybe I did it and I just forgot. But anyways, so on the back, I pretty much did everything on that model already. So the only thing we're going to go over is the stuff that I kind of left out. So this actually has two M.2 SATA ports. These are for SATA only. You can't use an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Alright, and the reason I'm working on this computer was, as you can see, this fan, it's missing propeller blades. So I'm not sure how they broke it. Maybe they used a strong air compressor or something, or they said they dropped their computer, and that probably caused those to break. But anyways, the M.2 SSD, SATA SSD, is held in place with a screw. You just take this screw out, and then the SSD should pop up like that. And when it pops up, you can just pull this out, okay? So there's not really much else to this one that's different. There is two slots, so I'm assuming that there's a RAID setup option in there somewhere. But this is how they had it set up with two M.2 SATA ports. Okay, so I'm gonna show how to replace the fans on this one, and also the other one, it actually had a bad power button. So the computer, when we disconnected the battery and plugged it in, it tried turning itself on, but it thought that the power button was being held down. And because of that, the computer just shut off and it wouldn't stay on. So if you're having a symptom like that, it could be this power button here. I actually replaced the power button on the other one, but there's two screws holding this in place. So take out that one screw, and underneath this plastic there's another screw. Remove that other screw. Hopefully this is all in view of the camera. There we go. Uh-oh, somebody's messaging me. Alright, so get those two screws out, and then you can actually lift this up. There's an adhesive here. You can just peel this whole thing out, okay? But on this one, on the other one, this button actually got damaged. You can replace just this button itself. This piece you can probably get pretty cheap on eBay or Amazon, but it's very difficult to solder on, because there's four solder points on the corners, and then on the centers on the sides there's another solder point on each side. So if you are going to do this, just know it's going to be a bit difficult. I had to basically melt these and then kind of like destroy the whole button, like rip this out and everything. But it is doable. So I did that and I repaired the button. If you can solder, you can attempt that. It will save you a little money. Because I think one of these buttons, if you look for it, it's about $30 to $50. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to put this button back in, and what I'm going to be doing is showing the fan replacement process. So okay, so let's put these screws back in. I might have to stop the recording and start another one so I can stop the messages from happening, because it's going to keep beeping. Let me see if I can stop it without closing it, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to pause it. Right, hold on, I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. Hopefully my phone's not going to beep anymore. I think I turned off all the notifications. Okay, so we're going to take the motherboard. Make sure that you're grounded when you take these things out, meaning that you are touching something metal that normally, if you were to touch it, would shock you if you had static on yourself. That's basically to remove any excess static electricity so you don't damage these components. Okay, so we're going to have to remove the screws holding these fans in place. I think you're going to have to use a PH0. My PH1 screwdriver fits here, but normally I think these you would have to use a PH0. I think this screwdriver set, the bits are slightly smaller than it should be, or the PH1 bit is slightly smaller on the tip than it should be. But I mean, it makes it easier that I can use just one tip for everyone, but I think for most people you're going to be wondering why your screwdriver's not working when mine does. So right now I'm using a PH0, which is probably what you should be using. Okay, so there's 3 screws it seems. Okay, I'm gonna replace both fans just because since I already have them, might as well. Alright, let's see here. So, is there anything else holding this in place? We got those 3 screws. Okay, let's get the 3 screws on the other fan as well. Same thing. Okay. Just remove those 3 screws. Alright, I'm likely going to have to clean the radiator fins. I don't know what you call those, the heatsink fins, radiator. Yeah, because a lot of times dust will get blown on there and then it'll be stuck. Alright, so it looks like this fan has 4 screws in it. I don't know why the other one only has 3. Let me double check. I have the replacement fans here. So let's see what it looks like. Open up the replacement fans. Okay. Come in little Ziploc baggies. These I bought on Amazon. If you need a link for these, just let me know, and I'll try and get you a link to purchase them. Okay. Or maybe I'll put a link in the description below. That way you don't have to ask. But let's open this up. Let's see here. How did they wrap this all kind of weird? I'm confused. Oh, okay. It has this adhesive thing that you have to peel up. Open this up. Dump the fan out. Alright, there's fan number 1. Same thing with this side. Peel this up. Alright. There's fan number 2. There we go. Alright, so we got this fan. There's the 5 screw holes, so you can see it fits like that. And then there's this fan, and there's 3 screw holes. You can see it fits like that. Okay, so we don't need to do anything. Let's see if these fans are okay. So these fans are nice. You can redo the grease. Here you can see there's actually grease inside it. So a lot of times on the fans the grease goes bad. If you need to repair them, you basically can pull those off. I just use synthetic motor oil from my car to grease them up. But there we go. The problem is these are broken. The fins are broken, so I can't grease it up. It's basically done now. Okay, so we took out all the screws that we need to. So let's flip this back over. Oh, so this fan already just fell out easily on its own. You can set that aside. This metal feels a bit more solid than this. It feels a lot lighter, but I mean, if it works, it works. It looks like the old fans had more fins on it, so I don't know if these will work as well or not. These fans might be better, so maybe I should leave this one and we'll just upgrade this new one since that's what we have. I don't know where you can get these original ones. I guess try and find fans that have these curvy blades. Okay, so it looks like I'll leave this one. I'm gonna clean the dust off here. This one spins pretty well. So usually the way you can tell the fans are good is by the way if they wobble like this back and forth, you know that the grease is good. This one wobbles a lot. Look how good that is. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna keep that fan. That fan's really good. I don't want to change out a good fan. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just brush off this stuff into the trash can. I mean, it's already pretty clean, but might as well make it completely clean inside. Okay, so that's all cleaned up. Let's do that with the other side. We're gonna put this here. All right. So clean that out. All right, so we got this fan, and I think this is the GPU fan. Yeah, this is the GPU fan. So we're gonna put the GPU fan back in. Okay. Also keep note of which way the pins are going. So you have the red wire, yellow, and then black. Make sure you have it in the same order when you plug in the replacement one. So this one, the red one, is on the top side, yellow and then black. So make sure you don't flip them over, because if you switch them around, you can damage the stuff. I wonder if I can use this propeller on this. I'm gonna see if I can take it out and swap them over. So let's get this tape off of here. Okay. Alright, what else is holding this in place? Let's see. Okay, you will lift it from this side, it looks like, and it looks like they have this foam thing is kind of holding it with some adhesive. So, oh, actually there's a clip on this one. So what you need a thin tool, like you can use a small flathead screwdriver. I don't know if I can zoom in and show this. I might end up knocking some stuff out of the way. So let's see if I can do this without knocking things over. Alright, so here's the fan. Okay, and the thing we're worried about is up here. So what you want, there's right here, this metal clip here. So move that out of the way slightly. And then when you pull that back, you can get this fan out, okay? So hopefully it should come up. Why is it still stuck? Oh, the adhesive here is also holding on to it, so that foam. Once you bend this piece, you want to bend it back in, because when you put the fan back, you want it to clip in place. Okay, so here you can see this is the broken fan. Yeah, so I'm going to take this out. If it looks the same, or if I can take it out, maybe you can't repair this one. Oh yeah, this doesn't even come out. So in that case, we will have to put the other fan. Okay, yep, it's stuck in there. So this one actually has a whole bunch of dust inside. Let me zoom back out. And then here you can see this side's not too bad, but this side actually has like lint in there. So we're gonna clean that out. Okay, it helps to use a toothbrush for this. So I'm just gonna pick out the big chunks first. Just like that, right? Toss that in the trash. Then I just use the toothbrush and kind of run it along there, and that breaks up the dust to make it easier to blow it out with the air. Okay, there we go. Then I got this little air blower. Hopefully I got all this in camera, I don't know, but I got this, and I just use that to blow all the dust out. Okay, there we go. So now it's a lot better. There's still a little bit, so I'm gonna brush it a little more. We'll see if it all comes out. Okay, just like that. And then take this and blow the dust out. Alright, so I guess when they were using the fan, it was damaging these fins a little bit. I'm gonna try and bend them back. It's not too important that they're bent completely straight, but you don't want them like touching each other, because that prevents air from flowing through them as well. Okay, so I'm just bending these little fins back to be separate from each other. These help basically increase the surface area of the metal, and the increased surface area helps with dissipating the heat better. Okay, the other side's okay. Alright, so now we'll grab the replacement fan. This is the wrong one, right? Yeah. Okay, let's grab the replacement fan for this one. Peel off this blue plastic stuff. I don't want that to get sucked in the fan. Alright, and then we gotta drop this one back in. And there's that little clip side here, but this doesn't actually have that clip, it looks like. Yeah, this doesn't have that clip, so it's not going to be really clipped in place. So these screws will have to hold it in place. Alright, drop this back down, just like the original one. Okay, and then use this fan to look at how it used to be. This cable is much longer, but you basically just do the same thing. Have the thing go this way, and have the same cables line up. Okay. Red on top and then black towards yourself if you have the board this direction. Alright, so I'm going to peel this up and then put this on the new fan. Okay, just like this. Okay, got that all back in place. Get this one in place as well. These pieces of tape aren't that important, but I might as well put them back since they were there. I like to kind of put stuff the way I found it, so there we go. Hopefully that was all caught on camera. So these fans, in terms of repairability, the new fans are actually better, but in terms of airflow, they probably will be a little bit worse because of the fan blade design. I'm not sure. I don't know much about fan design and things like that, but from looking at it, I would think maybe it's not going to be quite as good, but guess we'll see. Depending on, you probably wouldn't notice much difference in the temperatures because it's also a lot to do with the ambient temperatures in the room and everything like that. Alright, so let's line this up. I might be blocking the view because I have to look over the top to make sure I'm doing this right. Actually, I'll do the other fan first because it keeps falling out. Let's do this fan first. Let's flip this over. It's a little tricky to do this because the fans just fall out of the place that they're in. So I think what I'm going to have to do is hold the fan onto the board like this and then put the screw in sideways if I can. So let's see here. Is that going to go? I can't even tell if it's lined up. So the hardest part of this process is just making sure the screws are lined up. Okay, I think once I get 2 screws in, I can flip it over and then it'll be okay. Can't even get the second screw in. Alright, well, let's see here. Just like that. Screw, line it up. Oops. Okay, I guess I'll do the reassembly in this video. So if you're curious how to disassemble it, I guess you can watch this one in reverse. Normally it goes the other way. You watch me disassemble it and then you just basically watch it in reverse to see the reassembly process. But this one, since I already took it apart, might as well. At first I wasn't going to record it, but I figured there was different stuff that I'm doing on this one, so might as well make a video out of it so you guys can see. Alright, so let's line up the screw mount holes. I think because I put the tape on all of that, it's gonna be it's not gonna want to move around. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So again, the hardest part is just lining up these screw mount holes. Alright, I can see the one down there, so we're gonna put that first. This is gonna be a longer video than I was anticipating for just replacing the fans. Alright. So I don't want to tighten it all the way because I might actually have to still move this around. Okay, yep. This fan doesn't line up as perfectly, so I'm gonna have to adjust it. So what I'm doing is I'm not tightening the screw all the way. Then I can kind of move the fan around and then hopefully get it to line up. This one is going to be tricky. So if you want to make this job as easy as possible, I would say try and find a used pulled fan, but I don't know. Sometimes it's also not a good idea to get used fans because then they break pretty easily. So I don't know why it doesn't want to line up. I guess they just didn't do this properly. Yeah, it doesn't quite line up right, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I might have to get either another replacement fan or tape it all in place, or I don't know what other option. Come on, fan. Go over. There we go. I think it's lined up. Yeah. Okay, so that's working. Let's see if I can get two of them lined up at once. Here we go. That's working. Alright, now I found the right way to line them up. But now I think this last screw doesn't want to line up. And I don't know if this metal was also bent from the original one when the fan was having problems. There we go. I think that should be, yeah, I can do it now. Maybe the metal got bent somehow. Come on. Slightly going in. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got all the screws to go in right. There we go. So let's tighten them all up. That was a little tricky. I don't know if this metal got bent or if it was just the screws were not lined up right for this fan replacement fan. So maybe it's not a good exact replacement that they did. Okay, so we got all of the fan connections and everything in. We got this fan plugged in. We got all these adhesive tapes back, and now we got to put it all back together. All right. All right, so let's zoom out. Am I too far zoomed in? Oops, I said zoom out, not in. There we go. Okay, so you do want to get this side back in first. It's just like the other one we did. You want to hold these cables out of the way. Make sure that they're not getting back in under the computer. So I'm going to hold this out of the way. Make sure the wireless antennas aren't going on top of this screw mount here, because you don't want to smash those. Right, and the hardest part is all those cables down there. We need to get them out of the way as well. So just drop it in like that. Make sure this USB port lines up. I think the other one I worked on had a USB-C port down here, if I remember correctly. So the board is pretty different. I'm going to use this little pick tool to kind of pull these cables out. So I'm going to lift this up and then pull it back. All right. Oops. There we go. Pull that cable out. Alright, and then we'll get out the speaker cable, get out this LED board cable, slowly drop the board down. Okay, make sure those cables go in the right slots. Pull up these cables as well. That's the trackpad cable, keyboard backlight cable here, and then the keyboard cable here. Alright, now we got all of those out. Make sure you plug back in the DC jack or the charge port. Alright, here, plug it in, wiggle it. Okay, slowly drop the board. Oh, I always forget that one. Let's unplug this again. You don't want to forget the power button cable back here. If you forget that, your computer won't turn on at all. So let's pull this back up. Alright, and get the power button cable back out. There we go. Hopefully we got all the cables up. Make sure to check again because the other cables did fall underneath the board. So I'm going to have to pull those back out as well. Alright, so you got that. So make sure you pull back out the keyboard cable. I mean the trackpad cable and the backlight cable. And you want to be careful with these cables. If you crease them too much, you can actually damage them. Okay, so this fan cable I'm going to unplug again because I do need to put the screw back for this. Alright, so let's put this audio board back on. Just plug this in. line it up, and then push it down. Alright, to put this back, you put, oops, let me move this. You put the headphone jacks in first at an angle like this, and then drop it down. Put this screw back in. Alright, just like that. I'm going to switch back to the PH1. Alright. There we go. This cable, you want to route it back in. Get the tape out of the way. Put them back underneath. Okay. Just like that. Okay, let's put this screw back in. So we're going to put these two fan screws back in. One here. I forgot which model exactly this one is, so once I power it on, I'm going to go into the BIOS and then we'll look at that, so then I can get the exact title for, or the exact model for the title. Okay. Then route this cable down in here. Put this cable underneath the fan cable, just like that. Alright, get this cable back in, line it up, pull it together, get this adhesive out of the way, plug this one back in. Alright, just like that. Get the adhesive back on top, tape it down. There we go. Let's plug back in the keyboard cable here. Just like this. Get the backlight cable as well. Plug it in just like that. Trackpad cable as well. Oops. Okay. Line it up and plug it in. Come on, there we go. Put that latch back down. Then we got the LED lights connector. Plug that one back in. Right, the speakers, plug them back in. Then we got the hard drive connector here. This one you gotta get underneath because that tape is in the way. Alright. Oh, did this thing tape on itself? Yeah. Okay. And lift that cable back up. Right. Plug that back in. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Right. Put the latch back down. Put the tape back down. Don't forget to plug back in the power button cable. Get this stuff out of the way first. Alright. Grab that. Plug that back in. There we go. Put that back down. Okay, so we got the wireless card. Let's grab the wireless card. Let's see, what was the order here? Not that it matters, but you kind of want to have it so that it's not going on top of other stuff. Let's unplug the fan. I'm going to put the LCD cable in first. Actually, this one should go in first, so let's put in this cable. I think this is the webcam cable, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, move the adhesive out of the way. Plug this one in. Just like that. Tuck it back down. Okay, let's get the LCD cable on top. Same thing, line it up. Line it up. Come on, boys. Make sure you have this one completely lined up. This is the LCD cable. It's very important. Alright, and then push it down. If you try and push it down and it's not lined up, you can easily damage that, so be very careful. Alright, now we got the wireless antennas. Okay, I'm going to put this adhesive back over the top. The other wireless antennas, run this underneath here. Alright, let's get the wireless card in place. I think I did this with the other models. There's not really anything different, so Yeah, alright. Plug that in. Grab the screwdriver, or the screw. Put the screw for the wireless card back in. Did I grab the wrong screw? Let's see, how did I do this one? Did I do something weird? 1, 2, 3. Oops, I think I took a screw from another one and put it. Okay, we'll put this screw here. And we'll take this screw. I think when I was moving stuff around, I knocked one of the screws around. So here's the second one. These are the 2 L3. Yeah, okay, that should be right. And then this screw is slightly bigger. That's what you need for the wireless card and fan. There we go. Put that adhesive back over. Put the adhesive back over here. Get the fan cable. Put that plug back in. Get the wireless antenna out of the way. Alright, sorry about that. Someone called to pick up their computer. But anyways, I finished plugging back in the fan here. Okay. Let's see. This cable's a bit longer, so I don't know if it would make sense to kind of route it somewhere else, but maybe I can tuck the excess somewhere else, but I don't know. That's just how they have it. So let's do this. Tuck it down there, and then probably use this adhesive to help hold this as well. There we go. Alright, now we'll put the battery back in. Make sure you have everything plugged in before you put the battery back in. Okay, you might have to plug this in before it will let me turn it on. Probably should have grabbed the charger while I was over there. Alright, so we got that. Push this side of the battery, oops, sorry. Put this side of the battery down in this little groove first. Alright, just like that. And then you can drop the rest of the battery in place. Okay, grab the cover. Put that back on top. Well, maybe I should leave the cover off so I can see the fan spin. Alright, so I'll be back. Let me go get the charger. Actually, let me try and turn it on with just the battery and see if it'll work. Nope, I think I have to use the charger. Yeah. Alright, let me plug it in. Alright, so got the charger. Let's see here, what can I unplug up here? Okay, unplug that. Plug the charger in. Alright, and we're just going to make sure that it's working okay. Charger is on this side, good. Okay, plug it in. Charge light is coming on. I don't know if you can see that, it's blue. Alright, I'm going to lift up the thing, power it up. Computer is turning on. So far none of the fans are spinning. I don't know if I have to run something to make them spin. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to bend this metal piece out. You can hear how it's making that noise. That's because the metal got bent slightly. I think it got pushed in when it was shipping. Let's shut that down. Stop it. Okay. So if your fan is doing this, what's going on is the metal thing here, if I push it, you can hear it goes more. Basically that got bent in, so you need to pull this metal centerpiece up. Okay, so that it's not pressed into the fan. Okay, so pull that up. Alright. I think that should be good. Let me make sure. That's good. Alright. So if that happens with your fan, it's like if you were to push on this one, it'll do the same thing. let me make sure. Okay, that fan's good. And that fan's okay. Alright, let's power it back up and see what we got. Good thing I didn't put the cover back on, because then I would have had to open it up and do that just to do that. Okay, so there you go. The fan is going. I might have to bend it a little more. It looks like it's still somewhat hitting. It stopped spinning right now. Let's wait till it warms up. Or do I have to... Is it... No, it's not stuck. Okay, it's good. Alright, I'm going to bend it a tiny bit more just to be safe, but it looks like it's good now. Let me make sure it stays on while it's unplugged. Yes, it stays on. Okay, you can hear the fan spinning up. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to it. We just got to put the bottom cover back on. I am going to bend that back a little bit more, but yep, just put the bottom cover on. I guess I'll show that too, because there's a little trick to put the back piece here. So let me shut this down. The fan is okay as long as you're not like shoving that down. So let me make sure to get that clipped in place properly. Okay, all of that is good. And I'm gonna bend this one up a little bit more because this side I feel it's not. Okay. So let's pull this up a tiny bit more. Okay. Hopefully it bent up properly. Okay, just like that. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to put the cover back on now. So the trick I'm talking about on the back here, there's a little trick to it. So put the panel back on. Lift it up like this. So the back here, what you want to do is squeeze these two together, and at the same time you have to also push down on the top like this. So you can hear it clips as I kind of push this down. Okay, so sometimes it will not line up right. This plastic was all broken, so yeah, but let's go across and snap those in. All right. So those all got snapped in place. We're good to go. Let me see. This one, the plastic kind of broke off of this, so I'm going to just put these back under here. Okay. So the customer dropped their computer too much, so a lot of the plastic pieces are all broken off. But yeah, all right. So there we go. Now we just got to put back all the screws. Put this bottom screw in first. Alright, I like to do the corners first. We'll do this corner just to make sure everything is all lined up. Oh yeah, that thing is like really bad, the way they dropped it. It's kind of pushing that out. Let me make sure this gets lined up. There we go. Okay. Put back this screw. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. Alright, let's grab the top screw here. They did lose a screw up there as well, so yeah. So put back all these screws. And that's pretty much all there is to this. So hopefully this video helped you. If you wanted to see again the beginning process of taking it apart, I have another video on a MSI GS60, so watch that one. And yeah, I'll put that in the description below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.